All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the beatzillapdx official news brief. And this one, real quick, is about Al Sharpton. This story right here is crazy. This is what he's saying now, family. Al Sharpton urges black lawmakers to crack down on serial criminals, assist prosecutors in cases. So, this reads Civil rights activist Al Sharpton on Monday urged black lawmakers to approve new measures to get rid of the streets, to rid the streets of recidivism or recidivist lawbreakers and help district attorneys prosecute crime. Wow. Okay. Let's go. It goes on to read Al Sharpton, who recently convened uh, New York's top African American elected officials, including Mayor Eric Adams, State Attorney General Letitia James, Senate Majority Leader Andrew Stewart Cousins, and Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie, to discuss public safety and criminal justice issues, was responding to a Siena College poll released Monday that found that 93% of New Yorkers consider crime a serious problem in the state. Now, let's understand, foundational Black Americans are being ran out of New York State and especially New York City. So I don't know why you would be urging Black lawmakers. This is an immigration issue, more or less, of what it sounds like, than to start trying to tie whatever goes on with Black immigrants in New York to Black people abroad. But this is kind of what he's doing, and it's very, very treasonous. Last year, the preacher famously complained about brazen thefts that had retail stores taking extreme measures, including locking up my toothpaste. Al Sharpton, okay, come on, dude. Quote, the results of the latest Siena poll won't come back as a surprise to anyone who lives and works in a Black or brown community. Many of us have spent the better part of the year calling for our criminal justice system to be fine tuned. No, actually, we haven't. We've been asking for reparations, Al Sharpton, not criminal justice, because Black people are not inherently criminal. However, Black people have collectively been locked out of financial equity. So I don't know where we're getting to with this criminality thing, except for the Democratic line, which always wants to make Black people criminal. But that's also just an arm of white supremacy, the white supremacist dominant system that we are under here in America. Now, it goes on to read, addressing public safety is a question of how, not if, which is why I convene New York's unprecedented number of Black citywide and statewide leaders this month to start that conversation. Oh, Lord. Sharpton said he supported the foundation of the controversial cashless bail law that releases most defendants accused of misdemeanor and non-felony crimes. He said no one should be detained pending trial because they are too poor to post cash bail. But he said the law needs, quote, tweaks to bolster public safety. Yeah, okay, Al. Now let's remember the preacher here is not a lawmaker, by the way. Quote, let me be clear that we're not retreating from the hard-fought reforms that ended the jailing of men of color on Rikers simply for the crime of being too poor. But there are tweaks that can turn these good reforms into great ones by addressing issues like recidivism, giving our district attorneys the right tools, and helping the thousands of mentally ill New Yorkers forced out onto the streets. But that's not a criminal issue. That's a governmental issue, brother. So kind of interesting that you did that, but not really. It goes on to read, Sharpton seemed to be on the same page with Adams, oh, go figure, who has complained about repeat offenders or career criminals back out on the streets, wreaking havoc on communities. For his part, Adams said Sharpton was on spot. Mind you, all of they're talking about is black people right now. Now, we've said what Eric Adams has already said about himself in New York City, talking about, yeah, they call me the little Biden of Brooklyn. Isn't that what he say? So something to think about while you're listening to the words of Al Sharpton here. Let's see. Public safety and justice are uh, prerequisites to to prosperity, and the vast majority of New Yorkers still believe crime is a serious problem that we must tackle right now. Reverend Sharpton is correct that hard fought reforms can be protected while we work with our partners in Albany on a holistic public safety approach that makes the necessary adjustments to ensure these reforms are working as intended. I look forward to continuing the work with my colleagues here in New York City and in Albany to get that done. Ah, Lord. So that's how this reads. It says Sharpton, who for decades protested against police brutality, has sought to find a middle ground on combating crime while protesting civil rights. He opposes the defund the police movement as being pushed by latte liberals, whatever the hell that means. But he also said he won't sit back and allow Albany Republicans to demonize black leaders trying to find common ground on public safety and criminal justice. Now, I want you to understand everything that he has done so far was only demonize the black community while not clarifying all of this crime that they're talking about, which largely can be attributed to immigrants, whether legal or not. But most of this crime that they're talking about is happening by way of immigrants. However, you don't hear him doing that, nor are you hearing him look for any solutions to heal the black community at all. No, he's disturbed that his toothpaste got locked up. That's what bothered him. It goes on to read, we are going to stand up and stand up to defend our leaders every time you try to mislead the public about their commitment to public safety. Every day we see the worst of rising crime as much as we see the worst of police brutality. Whoa, Al Sharpton. No, 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 bro. No, this is treason right here, fam. This is treason. This Negro actually had the nerve to say, every day we see the worst of rising crime as much as we see the worst of police brutality? No, the hell we don't. The hell we do, brother. No, 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 no. We will not let you roll back the justice of our community or get in the way of ensuring safety on our streets. You got to be kidding me. He expects black leaders to meet the challenge. This is a moment where black leaders will show why voters put them in office. It is on all of us to support their efforts and stand up to those who want to turn back the clock on justice. I know we are up to the challenge. What just see here, notice he's not talking about anti-black violence at all. What he is doing is demonizing black people. I hope y'all understand what's happening here. This is extremely treasonous. Let's see. And he's calling for black leaders to join in the treasonous action of pushing this criminal line. Black people are not inherently criminal, Al Sharpton. Good Lord, dude. The Siena poll found that 93% of voters said crime is a serious issue, a serious problem in New York, with 61% calling it a very serious problem. The results were similar among all races and ethnicity. Ethnicity, you know what I'm saying. But trust me, family, I really don't buy that. I don't buy that. I do not believe those numbers whatsoever. Among all races, don't go sit up there because you already know what they did. They went and asked a bunch of foundational Black American hating Africans and then or Caribbeans and asked them, "Hey, what you think the problem is?" Oh, it's those niggas. Come on now. We know how that works. So I'm not gonna get so lost up and caught up on these numbers of their so-called poll because it says, meanwhile, the poll found that 79% of blacks, 73% of Latinos, and 62% of whites said crime was a serious problem in their neighborhoods. The leading number of people talking about crime being the serious problem in their neighborhoods is 79% black. Are you kidding me? About half of the Latinos said crime was a very serious problem in their community. What about whites? Do whites feel that there's crime is very serious in their communities? Why didn't we note that, Al? I'm just wondering. New York Post. I mean, I'm just asking. Uh, it says, go. This is the last one, I believe, last paragraph. The survey also revealed that the 2/3 of voters said that they support the idea of giving judges more discretion to set bail for defendants accused of serious crimes, an idea mentioned by Governor Kathy Hochul in her State of the State address. Well, we already know how Kathy Hochul get down. So basically, Al Sharpton is kind of trying to set the playing field for her to come in with a new anti-black crime bill. And when I say anti-black crime bill, I mean by this bill and this law will be instituted and levied by anti-black people, such as the governor, such as the mayor of New York City. So one thing I want y'all to point out and take hold of with these incidents that happened over the weekend, with these Asian on Asian crimes, one of those is literally being called and considered a hate crime. Something to consider when we have people like this, because they always say, well, he black. Listen what this black person said. Listen to what that black person said. Well, those Asian groups are saying, hey, this is still a hate crime because this is what we want to say it is. And I don't knock that. I don't really have any problem with them doing so. But one thing I will say is let's make sure we keep this part fair. So if you're going to do that, then make sure that's just going to be across the board. So when it comes down to black folks, we also have the opportunity to call out black on black hate. Not that we need to make it a crime, but if we call Al Sharpton out, if we call out Stephen A. Smith, if we call out Treason Eric Dyson, if we call out Michael Imhotep, if we call out Roland Martin, if we keep calling out all of these individuals, all of the Boule Do Nothing Congressional Black Caucus that he is actually calling for to further criminalize the black community. I don't think we should ever consider them types to be one of us or for our benefit. We can now say they know how to identify who is anti them within their own group. Let's start adopting that from those Asians, shall we? I don't see nothing wrong with that. What about y'all? So with that being said, family, this was just a real quick news brief about Al Sharpton. And the question here is, has Al Sharpton flipped? You let me know, family, because I can't tell. But damn, man. So until the next next time, family, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first. Shalom, y'all.